Hello, we're going to pick up on page 27, and we just learned how to find the area under the curve given a certain z-score. Now we're going to find the z-score given a certain area. So we're on page 27 of the notes, and we're essentially just going to go backwards. So I'm going to go down here to the curve, and first thing, of course, is to draw this curve and shade the region that we're looking for, or the z-score. And this example wants us to find the 90th percentile. So when you see the word percentile, that means the area under the curve, or to the left, is 0.9. And so I don't know exactly where that is, but I'm going to draw my line right here. And I know the area to the left, because it's a percentile, is 0.90. So that's the 90th percentile, and I want my value for z. All the problems that we've done so far, I've given you a value for z, and I've asked you to find the area to the left. We're just going to do the opposite. And so first I'm going to show you how to do that on the table. So we go to our normal table. Again, you have one in the back of your course packet. And previously we had looked up a value for z and found the area somewhere in here. Okay, so now we're going to start in here and find a value for z. So we're going to work backwards. And we want to find the area, the z-score that corresponds to area 0.9. And so I'm looking for 0.9 in the body of the table. So I'm looking for 0.9 in here somewhere. It's unlikely I'm going to find exactly 0.9, but I'm going to look for whatever's closest. And so here I see the 0.89, let's see, 0.8997. That's as close as I can get to 0.9, because the next number goes above it. And so 0.8997 is closer than 0.9015. So this is the value I want. I want to pull that z-score off of there. And so this corresponds to a z-score of 1.2. And then I just want to go up and see what column we're at. So 1.28. My z-score then is 1.28. I was working backwards, starting in here, and then pulling the z-score off. Okay, so this z-score right here, oopsies. Stop that. This z-score right there is 1.28. And I can also do that on the calculator. So if you like to use your calculator, you want to use a different function. Now it's the inverse because we're working backwards. I still go to second and then stat. Oops, that's not what I do. I go to second and then VARS. And then I'm going to use the third function now, this inverse norm. So I'm going to scroll down and hit enter. And I just want to put the area to the left, and that's going to be 0.9. And then I'm going to close that up and hit enter, and I get 1.28. So that's how I would use the calculator to do a problem that we do in reverse. So this is what we call an inverse problem. You do it both differently, even if you use the table or the calculator, are both different. Okay, so this answer right here then is 1.28. And now we're just going to work on a few exercises for the remainder of this lesson, just to give you some more examples. Let's see. Let's go up to 2.21. This one, the first one's so similar to the first one we did. We're still dealing with the standard normal, so my center is going to be at 0. I want to know probability of greater than 2.22. So here's 2.22 out there. And it's this area right here that I'm looking for because this says greater than. So I can go to my table and look up 2.22. Here's 2.2, and then I want to go out here to 0.9868, because that would be the second digit, which is the 0.02. Okay, so 0.9868. Go back to the notes. But remember, the table only gives you the area to the left, so that's going to be 0.9868. If I want to get the area to the right, I subtract from 1. And so that gives me 0.0132. On the calculator, this is just a regular problem, not the inverse, so I go to second VARS, do the normal CDF, and so I can avoid subtracting from 1 if I put 2.22 as my lower bound, and then just a really large number as my upper bound. Alright, so a bunch of 9s, and then I hit enter. And I get 0.0132 that way as well. Okay, so let's do the next one. We want the area in between negative 2.87. So 0 is my center, so that's going to be, it's going to be all the way out here. And 1.34. So that's going to be right there. We want the area in between. So remember when we did this, we first found the area to the left of negative 2.87, then the area to the left of 1.34, and then subtracted the 2. So I'm going to go to my normal table, go to negative 2.87, negative 2.87 is right here, that's 0.0021, and the other one was 1.34, so I'm going to look up 1.34. Here's 1.3, so 1.34 would be 0.9099. Stop that. 0.9099. Okay, you get the point. Let's see, did I mess that up? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0.9099. Okay, so I come back here and I subtract 0.9099 minus 0.0021. And that gives me 8, 7, so 0.9078. And that's my answer. Now I can do that on the calculator as well. I go to second, VARS, scroll down to 2, and I punch in my lower bound, and then my upper bound. And I get 0.9078. Okay, so let's just do one more. Let's do this one right here. Okay, this is one we're going to work backwards. We want the 95th percentile. So 95th percentile means that the area to the left is 0.95. That's going to be somewhere out here. The area to the left is 0.95. And I know I need to look up the value for z. Okay, so we're going to work the opposite direction. I go to my normal table, and now I'm looking in the body of the table for 0.95. These are both the same distance, so I'm just going to pick one. The z-score for that is 1.64. And so I can go back, and I know that the z-score is 1.64. I can do that on the calculator as well by going to second, VARS, and now I want the inverse because it's working backwards, and I just put in 0.95, and that gives me 1.64 as well.